Sure. Maybe. I guess. A little. We remained silently, completely unconvinced. Yes. Alright, yes, I feel better. Good. Rofi slips the meds back into the bottle with a clatter. I'm sorry, Theo, you were right. The improvement is marked. Maybe I should take the meds anyway? I can see her eyeing the bottle. No, I'd rather not administer them to you if you don't have to. You've been drinking quite a lot. She bristles, though clearly some of the fight has left her after the episode. And I've been drinking longer than you've been alive. Rofi hesitates. Do you often take these while under the influence? Like I said, I'm not some kind of idiot child. I know my limits. Okay, never mind. She's as venomous as ever. Rofi sighs softly and slips the benzos into his pocket. Okay, well, we can talk about that later. Your seizures seem to have subsided, at least. Theo clears his throat. In that case, we need to prepare to head out. The Robinsons are waiting. All right, I'm going to stay here with you, Diana. What a treat. Brandon, can you gather up her medical stuff? Yeah, I'm on it. You there, Spotty. Hold on a moment. She snaps at me. Spotty? There's a beaded purse on the nightstand that I need. Only if it's small. We can always come back to get whatever else you need later. I nod at Theo and head out. The old lady's nightstand is a mess of choked ashtrays and moldy old cups. Her purse sits proudly in the center, half opened, a mostly empty pack of cigarettes clearly visible. Ah, this is why she needed it. Whatever, if she gets out the door. I grab the bag, more than happy to leave the stinking, cluttered bedroom. When I get to the living room, the other two have already gotten Diana on her slippered feet. You really don't have any other shoes? Not without holes. It's fine. I got no filling in my feet anyways. They'll do. She won't have to set foot on the snow. What do you mean? We've been over this, Diana. I'm carrying you. Like hell you are. You can hardly stand. Clearly even Rofi's monumental patience is starting to wear thin. There's feet of snow out there and a gust of wind that can knock you over. Theo's going to carry you, and the more you struggle and argue, the more likely he is to drop you. So if you don't want to be dropped... Shut my mouth, huh? That's what you're telling me? She cackles, and for whatever reason, her eye zeroes in on me. Do yourself a favor, kid. Don't get old. When you reach my age, you don't have a choice anymore. Doesn't matter what you want. Doesn't matter how you feel. Can't even freeze to death in your own home. No, I'm afraid not. Rofi interjects gently. Not while we're around. She laughs again. Well then, you may as well get on with it. Take what's left of my dignity. See if I can give a shit. She just needs to shut up. Oh my goodness. Do you always have to be so dramatic, Diana? She delivers Theo another still-cutting look. That's hilarious coming from you, Theodore Donovan. You better not drop me, or I promise this time I really will see you in court. Brandon, could you get the door for us? Of course. I hold the door open, tearing a new breath into the musty apartment as Theo bends down and scoops the old woman with surprising ease. She must weigh almost nothing. Here, Theo, right this way. I'll try to clear more of the path for you. Together, we guide Theo outside and around the house. The driveway is almost clear, courtesy of Hunter, Artemis, and Ollie, who started to work twice as hard shoveling when they see us. I nod once at Ollie and thanks. He smiles. Theo takes every step with diligence and heavy certainty, eyes and limbs locked in tight focus. As he passes me, I sneak a glance at Diana. The old sheep looks smaller than ever, with her slight clothes pulled tightly around her, her one good eye buried in Theo's chest. Her milky eye stares upward into the yellowing dawn, seeing what? I could not say. And at the head of the procession is Rofi, checking every step, leading Theo forward while keeping a close eye on his patient. After a collection of tense forevers, Theo mounts the steps of number 30, and Rofi pulls the door open. Wordlessly, I follow them into the warmth of the house. Oh, you can see the picture of the couple here. The grumpy couple, the Knights. I know a family with their last name being Knights. Interesting. Theo immediately strides over to the plush sofa and deposits Diana on the cushioned seat. He kneels in front of her, fussing with her jacket and making sure she's comfortable. There you go, Diana. We've arrived. He attempts a well-worn smile. Thank you for flying Theo Airlines. Can't even. Terrible in-flight service. Not even a drink menu. they're beavers. They're beavers or something. Okay, that's perfect. Hold on, my cat is distracted. I spot Rofi, what looks like in the kitchen doorway, talking in hushed tones with two groundhogs, the Robinsons, I presume. Tom looks even angrier in person. A dipped, consistent, furrowed brow and a tense, forward-leaning posture, as if any movement he might lunge. He seems to be barely listening to Rofi, nodding absent-mindedly while keeping his beady eyes fixed on Deanna and Theo. The woman standing slightly behind him wears an entirely different demeanor, her entire body tucked tightly inward. Her eyes make a constant little circuits of the room, almost as if she were planning the best route to escape. I sidle my way over to them, ready to give Rofi support if needed. The dog is fully locked in now, speaking with precise robotic efficiency. This is her medical bag. It has everything she needs to monitor her sugar. She just had a hypoglycemic seizure before we brought her over here, so it'd probably be best to keep a close eye on her sugar levels for the next few hours. Now hold on just a minute. The husband holds out a paw, taking a step forward into Rofi's space. A seizure? You can't leave her here if she's going to start seizing again. Shouldn't you be calling the hospital, emergency services, somebody else? I intend to, just as soon as I finish briefing you on her condition. I would absolutely take her to the hospital if I had any faith I could actually transport her there. Emergency services might be able to get her there, but they are doubtlessly stretched thin at the moment. She is no longer in any immediate danger, so they may not come at all. It would be a much worse situation if they got stuck either on the way here or to the hospital. I can see Tom's brain turning, trying to find holes in Rofi's logic. All right, so when she starts convulsing, what exactly do you expect me to do? Rofi very cleverly bites back to retort. She's not likely to. As long as she keeps her sugar levels up, that's what the monitor and test strips are for. We brought the juice as well, though she probably should eat some real food before long. I have no idea when her last meal was. Well, we've only got so much here. It's not like we can go grocery shopping right now. His wife's eyes flick over to him, an inscrutable expression on her face. I look past the three of them into the kitchen, noting an open pantry door with a healthy stockpile of dry and canned food inside. I understand. We can bring food and other supplies over. Theo joins us then, ignoring the Robinsons and speaking pointedly to Rofi. Rofi, she'll be all settled in. I'm going back to grab some clothes and other things she asked for. Okay, great. Rofi turns back to the couple. We'll be back to check on her periodically, so... You're not seriously just gonna dump her here and leave, are you? Tom's voice rises incredibly. You're not the only doctor here. Diana laughs and cuts him off from the couch. No such luck, Tom. No such luck. The pup is an assistant doctor, probably just hands the doc his tools or something. Tom turns back to Rofi, indignant disbelief, and takes another step forward. An assistant? Well... Oh, not this again. Theo takes a step forward himself, so he and Tom are almost nose to nose. Mrs. Robinson steps backward, paw flying up to her necklace, but the much shorter man stands his ground, staring prudently up at Theo. Tom, what difference does it make? Right now, as far as we're concerned, he's the only doctor in the world. Diana is here now, on your couch, so the ball's in your court. If you're not going to kick her out in the snow, then you'd better just shut up and listen to what Rofi has to tell you. He turns on his heel. I'll be back with those clothes. Before anyone can reply, Theo stomps out front and slams the door. I don't believe this, Tom sighs, shaking his head disapprovingly. He's always been like this, you know. Foul-mouthed and impatient. He speaks with a wholly practiced tone, somewhere between false pity and sneering self-satisfaction. It makes me want to punch him. Rofi exhales quietly and re-enters the conversation. I wasn't suggesting that we just leave her here. I don't mind staying for a few hours to keep an eye on her sugar. It's probably best to monitor her post-seizure anyways. Rofi's a braver man than I, volunteering to spend any more time in this house than strictly necessary. I may need an extra paw from time to time, so I'll stay too. I interject before thinking, before Tom can even open his mouth. Guess I'm braver than I thought. Rofi turns to me in surprise and then gratitude and relief. Please do. Nurse Brandon reporting in. No one laughs. I briefly consider running into traffic, and then I remember there isn't any. Yes, I think it makes sense for both of you to look after her. You know what to look for, after all. Rofi and I both stare at him for a long moment, confused by his quick 180. The moment we agree to all of the work, he decides to trust Rofi completely. Well, Tom sighs again and turns to his wife for the first time. I suppose breakfast is in order, eh? She smiles slightly. Yes, I suppose it is. Bring my coffee up to the office when you have a moment. Davis should be awake by now, and I've got to talk to him about the Heston job. Damn blizzard's gonna set us back months. Having apparently forgotten us, Tom turns and walks out of the room like a star actor leaving the set. Mrs. Robinson waits until his clomping feet finish climbing up the stairs, and the door somewhere in the house clicks shut. Then she turns to us, her voice quiet and gentle. You'll have to excuse me, but breakfast won't make itself. She hesitates, one paw working her pearl necklace like a rosary. Do you boys drink coffee? I could bring you each a cup. Rofi examines her closely for a moment before politely shaking his head. No, but thank you, ma'am. Don't worry about us. I add, trying to catch her skittering eyes. You look like you have enough to worry about. We'll be fine. She nods, a quick jerky motion, gives that same slight smile as before, and quickly steps into the kitchen and out of sight. Only then do I realize I forgot to ask her name. Rofi and I exchange a look. I can tell we both have a lot on our minds. He opens his mouth, as if to start bridging that gap, when Diana calls from the couch. Hey, Spotty, Tofu, help me plug this damn thing in, will you? Tofu. The old sheep struggling to untangle her phone charger. Duty calls. And it has a loud, insistent voice. The next few hours aren't relaxing by any stretch of the imagination, but they pass, thankfully, without further incident. Rofi makes a quick call to the EMS, and they tell him exactly what he expected to hear. Since she is currently stable, and he is there with her, there is nothing else to be done at the moment. Not with half the city shut down. Theo returns at some point, bearing smoke-smelling bags of clothes and toiletries at the like. He and Rofi speak in quiet, polite tones to one another, not quite meeting each other's eyes. He doesn't stay long, just existing in the house seems to make him twitch, and the house seems calmer when he's gone. The entire time, despite his serious lack of sleep, Rofi stays awake and focuses on Diana. He and I both sit on the floor next to the couch. His eyes stay glued to her arm as if expecting another seizure to start. I don't fare nearly as well. I fall victim to a number of impromptu naps. Each time I startle awake, I find Rofi either right next to me or somewhere else nearby. Checking on Diana, fetching something for her, stretching his legs. The old ewe spends most of the time on her phone, glaring down at it as if it were an unexpected bill. Hey, Spotty, what's a 6-letter word for satirical or something that happens contrary to expectations? I blink groggily at her a few times, not understanding. She must be doing a crossword puzzle. Guess she's gotten over her ordeal. Maybe these kind of attacks aren't uncommon for her. Starts with an I. Ironic? Huh? Her eyes wander to the ordinate cross on the wall, and then to the explicitly welcoming welcome mat. She laughs and resumes jabbing at her phone with bony fingers. At some point, Tom's wife brings warm pancakes with strawberries for us and Diana. The sheep takes her plate and starts eating almost immediately, like she's forgotten what food tastes like. Here, I brought extra in case the two of you were hungry. She works at her necklace some more. I hope the berries are all right. They're obviously not in season, so... I'm sure it's all lovely, ma'am. Thank you. I reply quickly, still struggling to catch her eyes. I'm Brandon, by the way, and this is Rofi. Rofi smiles up at her and nods before turning back to his patient. Elizabeth. But you can call me Beth if you like. Welcome to our home. She welcomes us with a complex mix of emotions. Genuine, yet hesitant, and regretful. Almost like an apology. Diana doesn't say a word, still focused solely on eating. Thank you very much for letting us, stay here. Beth smiles, a bit wider this time, and drifts back to the kitchen. More time passes. I work on my plate slowly. Rofi barely touches his. Every once in a while, Beth rejoins us in the living room. Still timid, but noticeably less so. She even breaks Rofi out of his trance, briefly, asking him about the finger sticks and how often Diana's sugar needed to be checked, meticulously copying his instructions in perfect cursive letters. She really does seem to care. In stark and noticeable contrast to her husband, I see nothing more of Tom. Every once in a while, I hear snippets of his raised voice, presumably on the phone, taking numbers and logistics, and who's in charge, and who to blame. What's their story like, I wonder? What brought Tom and Beth Robinson together? After eating, my yawns became wider, my dips into sleep more frequent. At some point, I feel someone shaking me gently. I blink, letting out a yawn. Looking to my side, I notice Rofi's absence. Quickly then, I look up to see Theo. Hey, Brandon. It's been a number of hours. Where did Rofi go? I stumble upright, almost stepping on my tail. Don't worry, he's heading back to mine now. Medically cleared Diana and all that. I glance at the sheep, conked out and snoring softly in her seat, plugged in phone slipping out of her hands into her lap. Why didn't Rofi wake me? We could have walked back together. Do you think you're good to head back too? I get up and stretch. Yeah, I think so. Thanks for coming to get us, Theo. Of course. The storm looks like it's calmed down for the day. Or at least for now. I can walk with you anyways, though, if you like. Oh, are you not coming back? Not yet. I've still got a few more things to sort out with other folks before I call it a day. I raise an eyebrow, but he clarifies. No one in this house, at least for now. Alright, in that case, I can make it back on my own. Theo nods, and after I bundle up again, moves to get the door. He hesitates, paw on the doorknob, thoughts clearly rolling behind his eyes. Don't worry about it, Theo. It's been a stressful morning for all of us. At least it's over now. Surprise. And then gratitude. Thank you, Brandon. Get back safely now, okay? I smile at him. You too, Theo. Don't stay out too long.